Imagine a place where whispers of betrayal echoed through stone walls, where royalty and traitors alike met their fate, and where the air was thick with fear. The Tower of London wasn't just a fortress, it was a symbol of dread, a place where history's darkest tales unfolded. From its chilling dungeons to its infamous executions, the tower held secrets that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Stay with us as we count down the top 10 reasons why the Tower of London was the most feared place in Britain. Today, we will talk about why the Tower of London was the most feared place in Britain. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. 10. Built to scare people. The Tower of London wasn't just built for protection, it was built to scare people into obedience. In 1078, William the Conqueror ordered its construction right after he took over England. He wanted a symbol of his new power, something huge, cold, and impossible to ignore. The massive stone walls, strong gates, and tall watchtowers weren't just for defense. They were a warning to anyone thinking of going against the king. From almost every part of the city, the tower could be seen, standing high above everything else. It sent one clear message. The king was watching, and crossing him could cost you your life. As time passed, it became more than just a fortress. It was a royal home, an armory, and most famously, a prison. But no matter how its use changed, the fear stayed the same. For centuries, people believed that if you were taken to the tower, you might never come out again. 9. The sad ending of Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn's story is one of the tower's most famous and heartbreaking tales. She was the second wife of King Henry VI, and her marriage had already shocked England. Henry had broken away from the Catholic Church just to marry her. But only 3 years later, in 1536, everything changed. Anne was arrested and accused of treason, adultery, and even plotting to kill the king. Many historians believe these charges were false, made up so Henry could marry someone else. She was brought to the tower, not as a guest, but as a prisoner. On May 19th, she was beheaded by a swordsman from France in a private execution within the tower grounds. She was just 35 years old. Anne was buried in the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, inside the tower. 8. The mysterious disappearance of the princes. One of the tower's darkest and most chilling mysteries is the disappearance of two young princes. In 1483, after the death of King Edward IV, his 12-year-old son Edward V was supposed to become the new king. But before the coronation could happen, Edward and his 9-year-old brother, Richard, were taken to the Tower of London by their uncle, who would later become King Richard II. The two boys were last seen playing behind the tower's walls. After that, they vanished. No one ever saw them again. No official explanation was given, and their fate was never confirmed. Many believe they were murdered on the orders of their uncle, so he could take the throne. 7. The torture chamber known as the Little Ease. Inside the tower was a cell so cruel it was designed to break people without leaving a mark. It was called the Little Ease. This was no ordinary prison cell. It was so small and tight that no one could stand up straight, sit down fully, or even lie flat. Prisoners were left there for hours, even days, unable to rest, constantly trapped in pain and discomfort. It wasn't meant to physically injure them. It was meant to destroy their spirit. 6. The execution of Lady Jane Grey. Lady Jane Grey is remembered as the 9 Days Queen, but her short reign ended in one of the most tragic ways possible, inside the Tower of London. In 1553, after the death of King Edward VI, Jane was named queen even though she wasn't next in line. Powerful people around her, including her father-in-law, saw her as a way to keep control of the crown. But just 9 days after she was declared queen, Mary Tudor, Edward's half-sister, took the throne with strong public support. Jane was arrested and locked in the tower. At first, Mary didn't want to kill her. But after a rebellion broke out in Jane's name, Mary saw her as a threat. 5. The Tower's role in the gunpowder plot. The Tower's fearsome reputation grew even stronger after the failed gunpowder plot of 1605. A group of Catholic rebels planned to blow up the Houses of Parliament and kill King James I. One of them, Guy Fawkes, was caught with barrels of gunpowder under the building. After his arrest, he and the other conspirators were sent to the Tower. There, they were interrogated and tortured for days. The goal wasn't just to get information, it was to make an example of them. The torture chambers deep inside the Tower were used without mercy. After their confessions, the men were executed in public, their deaths made to shock and warn anyone else thinking of rebellion. 4. The haunting of the White Tower. The White Tower is the oldest and most iconic part of the entire fortress, and it's also believed to be the most haunted. Built in the 11th century, it has stood for nearly 1,000 years, watching over centuries of death, betrayal, and punishment. Many people who visit the Tower today say the White Tower feels different. Cold, heavy. Guards and tourists alike have reported strange sounds, footsteps echoing when no one's there, sudden drops in temperature, and even ghostly figures appearing in the halls. Some say they've seen the spirit of Anne Boleyn herself, holding her head under her arm. 3. The Tower's use during World War I. Many think the Tower of London is only a relic of the distant past, but it played a very real and very dark role even in modern times. During World War I, the Tower was once again used as a prison. Enemy spies and traitors were held inside its ancient walls. In 1941, it even became the site of an execution. Joseph Jacobs, a German spy, was captured in England and shot by firing squad in the Tower. He was the last person ever executed there. This wasn't just symbolic. It was a powerful reminder that the Tower was still a place of punishment, even hundreds of years after its first prisoners were locked inside. 2. The legend of the Tower's ravens. Among the many stories tied to the Tower, one legend still lives on, quite literally. It's said that if the ravens ever leave the Tower of London, the kingdom will fall. This old superstition is taken so seriously that the Tower keeps at least 6 ravens on site at all times, with a dedicated raven master to care for them. Their wings are clipped slightly to make sure they never fly too far. These birds aren't just for show. They are a living reminder of the Tower's connection to fear, fate, and the unknown. 1. The Tower as a symbol of fear. The Tower of London isn't just a place on a map. It's a symbol of power, a symbol of fear, a symbol of what happens when control is absolute and mercy is rare. For nearly 1,000 years, the Tower has been at the center of Britain's darkest stories. Kings and queens lived there, but so did prisoners waiting to die. It was where secrets were buried, where the accused were broken, and where the line between justice and cruelty often disappeared. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.